Hello everyone, and welcome to Helsinki, the birthplace of Tove Jansson. We are here at the National Museum of Finland at Courage, Freedom, Love, the exhibition celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Moomins. In 1945, Tove's first Moomin story, The Moomins and the Great Flood, was published. It was a time not unlike ours, a time of uncertainty, a time when it was hard to plan ahead. The young painter Tove Jansson found it hard to paint, and for comfort and joy, she started to write the story about Moomin Troll and his mother in the great forest. This was the starting point of a prolific cultural legacy of storytelling, which spawned the 9 Moomin books that have been translated into more than 50 languages. Reading is a way for us to get a deeper understanding of other humans. It gives an empathy for their feelings and thoughts, and it's a way for us to learn about the world and the great thinkers from history. Here we see the library of the Muskrat, with the books he according to the Moomin books owned. As you can see, it's quite deep philosophical books. For Tove, reading and writing was vital. It was a way for her to understand the world and intricately express her own feelings about it. In the Moomin books and the rest of her literature, she communicated her core values of courage, freedom, love, tolerance, and the respect of nature. Welcome everyone to the launch of Reading, Writing and the Moomins. My name is Andrea Reuter and I'll be here guiding you through the next hour. I'm so excited to finally be able to tell you about this wonderful initiative. Language is at the core of what makes us human. It allows us to communicate our hopes and dreams, relate to each other, engage in the big issues of our times, and create change. And having a vast vocabulary gives you the confidence to, for example, tell someone that you're flabbergasted by their stupendous wit instead of just saying that you think they're funny or smart. Tove Jansson was passionate about language and storytelling throughout her whole life. You can really say that it's the core of her cultural heritage. So to spark enthusiasm for reading and writing in the Moomin community and beyond, Moomin Characters have initiated Reading, Writing and the Moomins. And we are really happy that several organizations have wanted to join us on this mission. As a part of this initiative, Moomin Characters have created new alphabets and fantastic artwork, all based on Tove Jansson's original art, for the Moomin brand and for Moomin licenses all over the world. So prepare yourself for a visual adventure. Today, you'll meet the people behind the initiative and the organizations that have joined them in this inspiring journey. And today also the new Moomin ABC site is going live. I think you can see the link here in the screen, but of course you can also just Google Moomin ABC and you'll find it right away. So go check that out after this launch is over. And during this live stream, you also have the chance to participate in our competitions for absolutely fabulous prizes. Here, I mean, the prize is so big, we couldn't even fit it on one table. So it's all of Tove Jansson's books in English, including all the original Moomin books, her adult fiction, a book of letters, and a biography about Tove Jansson, and they are donated by Sort of Books, the publisher in the UK. So you can win that. Then you can also win these that have just been released. It's the Swedish-speaking Moomin ABC book Moomindalens Alphabet, written by Annika Sandelin and published by Förlaget M and Bonnier Carlsen. And then here you have the Finnish one, Onnelliset Aakkoset, written by Paula Nivukoski, and it's published by Ottawa. And of course, we want to thank Förlaget M and Ottawa for donating these books. And very soon you will meet the authors of these books as well. So let's get this show started. And I have my first guests here in the studio. Sofia Jansson, Creative Director at Moomin Characters. Welcome.
Lovely to be here.
And James Sambra, Head Designer for this whole initiative, Reading, Writing and the Moomins, and also a member of the board at Moomin Characters. So great to have you in the studio to talk about this initiative. And I want to start with you, Sofia, by asking about the idea behind this initiative to enhance reading and writing. Where did it come from?
Well, it's sort of funny because we're talking about reading and writing being our theme, but actually it's of course at the center of Tove's legacy and has been all along and will be in the future. But really about a year ago we were looking at some letters that Tove had designed as a picture at the beginning of a word in one of her novels. And we liked them so much. They're so cute and so appealing. Mm. We thought we need to do something around her letters because she was very creative with her handwriting and different letters to express different emotions and things like that. And so we decided to really focus on furthering the love of reading and writing and trying to sort of add to everybody's effort to open up how wonderful a tool language is. Mm. That language really is the key to furthering or building a future, furthering yourself in life. And also it can bring so much happiness. Mm. Because with, understanding text or having a large vocabulary, you get in touch with your emotions, your thoughts, concepts. And of course, we heard a lot of reports about young people basically losing their language because the world is going digital. Mm. And I just thought, oh my God, if the next generation will be without the joys of reading, all those stories, all that knowledge that, for example, I as an individual have amassed through reading and then losing the skill to express those thoughts or emotions in writing, that would be disastrous. Yeah. But of course, it's a huge concept because we really want to enforce literacy, help people to, have a better future acquiring this tool, language and letters.
And of course, there's several also charity organizations that jumped on board in this initiative. We'll meet them later in the program. So Sofia mentioned a little bit about the background, what kind of original art these letters are based on, but could you tell us a little bit more? So there's two different alphabets, novels and map?
Yeah, there are two different alphabets. So as Sofia mentioned, in addition to being a great writer and a fantastic illustrator, Tove also created a set of different unique alphabets and lettering for her, both for her Moomin novels, picture books, and also in the comics. Mm. So we chose two of these to kind of further develop, one being the Moomin novels alphabet.
And that's based on Moomin Papa's memoirs, right?
That's based on the kind of letter illustrations, so-called drop caps that are at the beginning of every...
That's a very specific thing. Yeah. So it's like in the beginning of a chapter.
Yeah, right? At the beginning of the first word of every chapter in the original exploits of Moomin Papa. Yeah. Yeah. So from there we kind of found the inspiration for the novels alphabet. Yeah. And we gathered the kind of existing originals that we could get our hands on, and then we expanded the alphabet to include all of the rest of the letters.
Yeah, and every letter has one of the characters.
So every letter, is this kind of mix of illustration and lettering, where a character is combined with a letter. So we have these very kind of playful combinations. So after kind of defining the style of the letters themselves, where we try to stay very kind of true to the originals and create a set of letters that have more of a kind of hand-drawn lettering feel to them, as opposed to a kind of very, very sleek and finished typeface. So they have this kind of very hand-drawn feel to them. Then we combine these with different characters. So
and then you also created patterns and other kind of artwork. I think it was in the stream rolling we saw the examples of that.
Yeah, so the alphabets form the kind of base of everything that we've been doing artwork-wise with this initiative. But with these letters, we can make all kinds of different artworks, which we have, and with different partners and licensees, we can create a lot of different lovely visual artwork using these alphabets.
And there's of course a lot of upcoming products using these that will come in the coming years. We'll talk about them a little bit later in the stream. So I actually want to ask you, James, you are also Sofia's son, and she's the niece of Tove Jansson. I guess you've been marinated in Moomin books as a child, but do you have a favorite one now as an adult?
Well, now, right at this moment, I'd have to say Moominland Midwinter would be the...
It does feel like we live in that book right now.
Especially this year, we've been very lucky with the winter here in Finland.
Yeah, there's snow up to here.
Yeah, a lot of snow and very cold temperatures. So we've really got that kind of magical feel of winter, that kind of otherworldliness that is very present in Moominland Midwinter, kind of waking up to a completely different world. And there are also a lot of very kind of active hemulants this year out, skiing and skating every day. Maybe a bit too active.
Yeah, and that's my favorite, the guy with the horn who comes down the slopes and likes to winter bathe.
Yeah, I'm sitting at home, cozy by the fireplace, reading.
So thank you so much for joining us and telling us about this initiative and the process behind it. So now let's dive into the world of the Moomin Valley series and see what the Moomins read and write.
Spooky. Oh, Moomin Troll.
Morning, Papa. Mind if I borrow a few ghost stories?
Phantom of the Gorge? Quite good, I think. The Pale Horror. Now that was very good. Spirits and how to mix them. Maybe not that one. But the rest you can read. Not before bed, mind, or you'll never get to sleep.
That's the idea. Hello.
The challenge of the blank page. But today, I'm ready to face it.
Papa?
Moomin Troll, what is it?
When you said poetry was dangerous in the wrong pause.
Deadly.
Right. Well, I think I need some killer lines. Can you help me?
You, my son, has come to the right place. There.
Yes!
Well, there you saw a couple of examples of what they read in the Moomin Valley animated series, but the original Moomin books and the Moomin comics are full of books that the characters read, and some of them are classics like Agatha Christie or War and Peace, Robinson Crusoe, but it's also full of a lot of books with titles made up by Tove herself. I picked out some favorites. The Gentle Art of Persuasion, How to Be Optimistic, and not to forget Treble Hemulian Bookkeeping. So as you see, I'm surrounded by these big letters from the novel's alphabet, and these same letters can be seen in suomalainen kirjakauppa bookstores all over Finland. So let's take a look at when they built the shop-in-shop in the suomalainen kirjakauppa flagship store here in Helsinki. So now it's time to take a closer look at the Swedish Moomin ABC book, Moomindalens alfabet, published by Förlaget M and Bonnier Carlsen and written by Annika Sandelin, that we have here in the studio. Welcome. And the Finnish one, Onnelliset aakkoset, by Paula Nivukoski, that we also have here joining us in the studio. That's published by Otava. So I want to start by saying that I've been pestering my friends for several weeks now, reading aloud from the books, but they say they don't mind, so I've made them into as big fans as I myself am, but I can't not be reading from them every time I see someone. I think they feel like instant classics, so I just wanted to start with saying that. So I'm going to start by asking you, Annika, what was the process of writing Moomindalens alphabet like?
Well, first I read all the Moomin books again to get into the world, and I tried to find short situations that were typical for the characters. And I knew from the beginning that I wanted to write a poem for every letter. And then when I was out walking, I suddenly got the idea that I could use the same rhythm Tove uses in the book about Moomin, Mimble and Little Mai.
Yes,
and
that's actually there in Swedish, just beside you. Who
yes.
The same. Yeah.
And that gave me a lot of inspiration. And then I also searched suitable words in dictionaries and wrote them down before I started to write the poems.
And I did mention it before, but of course this is Tove Jansson's original illustrations and then text by you, and the same goes for Onnelliset aakkoset. So could you tell us a little bit about your process?
Well, I think the world Tove created, it's so beautiful and so complete that I feel I can literally walk into Moomin Valley and examine its paths and hideaways, across the bridge where Snufkin is playing his harmonica. And then I could pick a story, like an apple from Moomin Mamma's garden. So when I was writing this book, I made several little adventures. So many of the stories has been written while I was flying a kite or floating at the sea. And once I was swinging in an old garden in the middle of the night. And that moment gave me a story about Snufkin, who was all alone in the lonely mountains and needed help. And at the same time, Moomin Troll wakes up in his cozy bed and he knows somehow that Snufkin is in trouble. I had no paper with me, so I have to memorize this whole story by telling it to myself over and over again, reading it out loud when I was riding bicycle back home through the silent village.
Wow, I think it's very Moominous, both of these ways of writing. So I've asked you to choose one letter from your own books, and you decided to choose W.
Yes.
Why?
Yes, I chose W because W isn't a common letter in modern Swedish. But the ancestor happened to be the character of the letter W. And that gave me the opportunity to use old Swedish spelling and old Swedish words with W.
Yeah, that's a really good connection, I think, right there. And you, Paula, you chose R. Why did you choose that one?
Yeah, I think all the letters have a soul or a certain feeling in them. So sometimes I feel I just have to listen to the letter to create an atmosphere. Take letter R, for example. R, that's quite strong in Finnish. Even the best known Finnish swear word contains R. But in onnelliset aakkoset, R is a letter for storms. Myrskyt, tyrskyt ja pärskeet. It sounds quite powerful, right? So in the story, the storm rushes into cellar and breaks down everything while Moomin Papa is writing a story.
So I wanted to ask you here in the end, and now that you've been reading the Moomin books over and over again, and this is a little bit of a like Sophie's choice question in a way, but do you have a favorite Moomin book? Which one is it, Annika?
It is very hard for me to choose because I really love them all and even more after this work.
Yeah.
But maybe I would choose now The Exploits of Moomin Papa.
What about you, Paula?
My favorite book is Moomin Papa and the Sea. I love the way Tuve describes the sea as one of the characters. And the nature also reflects the inner feelings of the Moomin family. I also made a study, my bachelor's thesis, about this book and how loneliness is metaphorically described. All the characters, they feel both happiness and loneliness in the book. And they all need to make a journey to themselves to find an inner peace.
Well, you've really been living with Moomin for a long time if you wrote your bachelor thesis about it. So thank you so much for joining us, Annika and Paula. And I want to remind you that there's this ongoing competition. You can see the instructions beneath the video in Facebook and YouTube, so you have the chance to win both of these. Even though the ABC books are for sure going to be loved by adults, just like me, the primary audience is, of course, children. So we decided to ask some children about how they feel for the novel's alphabet.
I chose this one because it looks scary and I like his look on it. I chose S because it seems very happy and it just seems like it's happy all the time. I took O with 2 dots because it seems really relaxed. It looks like an alien and he looks like really happy. Look at his hair. I like this one because it's like they like Moomin Mama. I choose the letter U because it's the happiest and most playful and it's calm. I like A because it's a simple letter. And then I like O because it's the first letter of my name, Olivia.
Welcome back. Today, Moomin Characters are launching the initiative Reading, Writing and the Moomins to enhance the skills in reading and writing to be able to understand the world and express yourself. Several charities and organizations are involved, and you'll soon get to meet them here during this launch. And there's, of course, also going to be a lot of wonderful ABC products coming out in the coming years. They're going to, of course, feature the alphabets, but also other artwork from this whole kind of collection of assets that Moomin Characters have created. And the best way to stay tuned for this is to follow the hashtag Moomin ABC. And of course, to regularly check out the web shop on moomin.com. One product that is already out and that you can actually buy now is this amazing ABC poster. It's available in different sizes, so you can just go in and order it right now. I really love it there. Moomin Papa with the flask in his hand and reading Agatha Christie. It looks so super nice. And we have actually, amongst everyone that registered for this live stream on Eventbrite, we've picked out a lucky winner that has won the poster. And here I have the golden paper with the name of the winner. So the lucky winner is Michelle. So we'll be in contact right after the stream is over through email. Linda Liukas is a Finnish author, illustrator, and instructor for beginner programmers, who has taught young women computer programming in more than 260 cities all over the world through her global movement Rails Girls. We asked her what language means to her. Let's see what she answered.
I think Tove Jansson was a big believer in language that crackles and conjures. The ancestors living in the crystal chandeliers, the frozen bathhouse at the end of the pier, the electrifying and buzzing hattifnatterna. Tove gave me language to talk about family, happiness, isolation, and many, many more topics. She helped me notice. And as our world is getting more and more siloed, many people, they feel they don't have language to describe what is around them. Walking through the world without words must be an isolating and scary experience. And especially in the realm where I work in the technology world, where we use a lot of these big and commanding words like artificial intelligence and 5G and smart cities. It is so, so important to anchor meaning back into these words so that we can hold them in our memory, so that we can return to them. And I think language, it truly anchors our experiences. I see many more cephalopod seashells, senga strawberries, and sorting algorithms now that I have names for them. Tove, she would probably have hated the technology jargon of today, the likes and the upvotes. But whether it's ants, plants, or algorithms, having a name to describe the thing gives us agency. It gives us a doorway, and it gives us a path.
Tove Jansson's Moomin comics were originally published in the Evening News in London in 1954 and then syndicated all over the world during 20 years. So they appeared in 40 countries, about 120 papers, reaching 20 million readers daily. This makes it the most successful Finnish comic ever. So older generations in the UK have grown up with the Moomins, and during the last decades, the new generations have found the Moomins through the publishing of the original Moomin books by Sort of Books. And the last years, the charity organization Oxfam has been a part of the Moomin family, selling Moomin books and products in their stores all over the UK. So let's go to the UK and catch up with Sort of Books and Oxfam. And now I'm joined by Natanja Jans from Sort of Books and Edward Gillespie from Oxfam. Welcome.
Nationally.
Thanks, Andrea. So Oxfam is an international charity that works in nearly 90 countries to tackle poverty and inequality. We support communities around the world to access their rights, and access to education and the ability to read and write is one of the first steps to ending poverty. At the moment, over 200 million children will still be out of school in 2030. So Oxfam trains teachers, we campaign to get more children to school, particularly from disadvantaged communities. And we work with communities to encourage more girls to go to school and to stay in school. And then secondly, as an organisation that supports equality and human rights, it's really important to us that we empower people to be able to express themselves, stand up for their rights and their hopes for the future. And education, reading and writing is undoubtedly one of the ways of unlocking a kinder and better world. So through our schools and education team, Oxfam supports young people to be active global citizens, to develop the knowledge, skills and values they need to engage with the world and to make change happen. And then on a really practical level, in the UK, Oxfam has 600 shops. We're the we're the largest secondhand book retailer in Europe and have over 120 dedicated bookshops in the UK. So reading, writing, storytelling is really core to what we do as an organisation.
Thank you, Ed. And Nat, tell us shortly what the history between Sword of Books and Tove Jansson's books is.
Well, it goes back over 20 years. We first found a battered copy of this book and decided we had to republish it. It hadn't been seen for 45 years. And while we were printing that book, we were sent a copy of the summer book, an old hardback copy of the summer book, a 40 years old one, translated by Tom Teal. And we knew that we'd found something extraordinary, and this was an author that we were going to follow through her adult work, her children's work. And we've always been dedicated fans, so to publish her books has been just extraordinary. We now publish 23 works by Tove Jansson, including her classic Moomin books. And a book that we published 2 years ago with Oxfam was The Invisible Child, which we brought out. It was Moomin Characters, Oxfam and Waterstones were extraordinary in bringing out this book. And perhaps Ed will tell us how much this book managed to raise. We published it, but it was through the amazing generosity of Waterstones and the foresight of Oxfam and the ideas and inspiration of Moomin Characters that it all came about.
Yeah, it was a wonderful campaign to raise money for the work Oxfam does to support women and girls in particular. And through the collaboration with Moomin Characters, Sort of Books, other partners and licensees, it's now raised over £1 million to support Oxfam's work, which is incredible.
That's amazing.
And we're so fortunate to have been part of the campaign, and it's really been a wonderful way of engaging people with really important issues about women's rights, voice, standing up for people. And we've been blown away by how popular it's been with Moomin fans, Oxfam supporters, Waterstones customers. It's really kind of engaged people, and we've been very lucky to be part of it.
But these books, which were published so long ago, that speak to us now in such powerful ways, it's incredible.
And that campaign, of course, the number £1 million is definitely a statistic of a great campaign. So what's now planned from Oxfam's side in this reading, writing and the Moomins context?
Yeah, so we're obviously really excited to work with Moomins again on another great campaign. We've seen how fantastic it's been on the previous campaign, and so to do it again for another really important issue of reading and writing, it's fantastic for us, and we're really excited to be a part of it. We're going to be stocking some of the ABC range in Oxfam shops, promoting the campaign, looking at how our celebrity supporters can get involved, and then also seeing where some of the money that's raised through the initiative can be distributed to support important projects on reading, writing and education.
Well, we're really looking forward to many years of collaboration. Nat, you're an expert. Which Moomin book would be a great one to start with for someone that hasn't read the books?
Well, I have to recommend, because we all need something sunny, a bit of magic and mayhem, I have to recommend Finn Family Moomin Troll. I would also say that this year, which has been this last month, has been very hard, and these two books have been highlighted as the books that have got us through. We've had major features in the press by people who just want to tell us how much they cared about the summer book and Moominland Midwinter as ways of coping with everything we've been through in the last few months.
The comfort of Tove's books. So Ed, do you have a favorite Moomin book?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to talk about Moominland Midwinter as well, actually. It's one I've been enjoying recently for the reason Nat mentions. I think it's got some of the most beautiful illustrations in it. The way Tove captures kind of darkness and candlelight is really magical, and the sense of quiet stillness, and discovering somewhere familiar for the first time in a different way, I think is very beautiful and appropriate for the times we find ourselves in.
Thank you. And of course, I want to take the chance to personally thank you, Nathania, for the amazing prize that we have now in the competition going on during the launch, which is all of sort of books, Tove Jansson books that you have very generously donated. So thank you for that. And I'm very jealous to the winner that will win them all.
It's a pleasure, Andrea, an absolute pleasure.
So thank you so much, and please take care of yourself and someone else as well if you can.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrea.
Amazing to hear how this initiative will benefit children all over the world through Oxfam's work. I also want to mention in this context of the UK and the Commonwealth that Moomin Characters are the principal sponsor of the Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition. So don't forget to take part in the competition to win the books in English. You can see the instructions under the stream. So let's stay in the UK and go on to our next guest, Nicole Pearson from publishing company Macmillan. Welcome, Nicole. Great to have you on the show.
Hi, Andrea. Nice to see you as well.
So Macmillan and Moomin Characters have a history of working together. What kind of Moomin books have you released before?
So Macmillan started working with Moomin Characters in 2015, and we launched originally with some classic books, for example, an art therapy style colouring book that was beautiful and really sort of deluxe, and then our stunning World of Moomin Valley title, which was a kind of non-fiction title. And both of them were really successful, and that became a springboard for other things, our range of publishing with the Moomin Valley animation tie-in titles, and also the English language editions of the Back to Tove picture books, which are really beautiful. The relationship we have with Moomin Characters on this wonderful heritage property is so special to us. You know, we feel like we've got really common values with Moomin Characters, and over the years our publishing has really evolved. So we now have, I think, about 20 titles, and those titles going to 20 different languages, which is fantastic. And you know, even in a difficult year like 2020, which was obviously the anniversary year, it was a really difficult year generally because of COVID, but actually we saw growth in all markets on the Moomin titles, which was fantastic.
That's lovely to hear. I think they've been providing a lot of comfort to people in these
I think
weird
so,
times.
Yeah.
So why did you want to be involved in this reading and writing the Moomins initiative?
Well, I think the first moment that the ABC initiative was presented to us, we really loved the values and the design aesthetic of the ABC programme. We just thought there were lots of opportunities for creating a publishing programme that fosters that love of reading, writing and communication. The way that the initiative celebrates the original artwork, I think, was really, really important to us. So, for example, one of the alphabets within the various style guides comes from the original Moomin map, and we really love that. We just think that connection to the original canon is really important to us. And you know, as I say, the values, Tove Jansson's values, really kind of resonate with us, and we felt that we could really, you know, we could really celebrate those values with a range of books that would really promote those values of writing and literacy.
So could you open up a little bit about the upcoming books within this initiative?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we're launching in 2022. We have initially a 4-book program, and we think that within that program there's an opportunity to target different age groups and readerships. So our first 2 books, which launch in spring 2022, are very much targeted at a very young audience. These are beautiful nursery gift books. One will be ABC, one book will be 1, 2, 3, using some of those beautiful alphabets that I referred to earlier. Then we'll be following up in autumn 2022 with a wonderful gift book that celebrates the art of letter writing. I'm not going to give you too much information about that, but there will be, you know, letters, envelopes, and it will kind of link back to some of those original kind of events in the original canon where there was letter writing and there was communication in that way.
It sounds lovely. I really look forward to holding those books in my hand when they are released. So thank you so much for joining, Nicole, and have a good day.
It's a pleasure. Great to meet you, Andrea. Bye.
Bye.
Now that we've heard about the plans in the UK, we'll dash over to Mexico to catch up with Jennifer Clement, the first female president of PEN International. PEN International promotes the freedom of speech and works for the human rights of writers all over the world. It was founded in 1921, so it celebrates its centenary this year. So let's connect with Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's wonderful to be a part of these celebrations.
So I wanted to start off by asking you how the values of this initiative align with the values of PEN International.
Well, actually, I think they align in a very, very special way because PEN, on one hand, PEN very much defends freedom of expression, but we also defend the power of literature and storytelling to transform lives and societies. To give just two examples, I'd say one can think of Oliver Twist and how that novel changed child labor laws, and yet we don't have any recollection of the journalism of that time. And if you think about Victor Hugo's Les Miserables, that is a novel that gave dignity to the poor. And so these are just two sort of classic examples, but there are many, many examples of the transformative power of storytelling and literature.
So what are your plans within this ABC project together with Moomin Characters?
Well, we have a wonderful plan, which is to take The Invisible Child, her short story, to several of our centers. So as a pilot program, we will start in Sierra Leone and 2 native languages from Zimbabwe, Malawi, 3 of the indigenous languages from Nigeria, and also 2 languages from Chiapas, Mexico, which would be Maya and Tzotzil.
Wow, so really spreading Tuve's story around the world.
Yeah,
so,
it's very special.
And this segues me into my last question, which is, what impact do you think Tove Jansson's cultural legacy still has on the world?
Well, I mean, obviously her legacy is extraordinary because she was a woman of so many talents. But I think within the PEN community, what really speaks to us about her is her extraordinary bravery. So in PEN, I always say how you know, it's such an honor to be president of PEN International because every day of my life, I'm in touch with the bravest people in the world who risk everything to tell the truth. And certainly, you know, for example, the work, the things that Tuve published in GARM magazine, I mean, sort of extraordinary bravery. And I think this is probably what the PEN community most appreciates, although we do appreciate everything, of course.
Thank you so much. This was short but sweet. So happy to have you on board and looking forward to working with you for many years to come.
Thank you. Well, I wish I were in Finland, especially since I found out that I have, in my DNA, I have Finnish blood.
Well, happy to have you here whenever you can come, and congratulations to your centenary.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I feel like there's some of that Mexican sun coming here to the wonderful winterland in Finland. Maybe it's just the lamps in the studio, but it's warming my heart at least. So let's go straight from Mexico into the virtual reality world of Frever.
Frever is a next-generation avatar app. You create an avatar, customize it, follow people and create videos with yourself and your friends. You can share your videos in the app and on any social media platform. Now Frever and Moomin are developing a unique Moomin collection of clothes and items. That includes relaxed apparel for long school days, a rain collection for outdoor life, a reflective collection to light up the night, a street collection for the city, and a sport collection. Frever will be launched during 2021 and will provide Moomin fans with a unique way to express themselves.
Well, I can't wait for the app to launch, so I can also dress my avatar in the ABC collection from Moomin. So now I'm joined here in the studio by 3 organizations that are involved in this Reading, Writing and the Moomins initiative. So I'm going to start here on my left. We have Tuuli Lahti from the Finnish Red Cross. Then we have Olli Alanen from the Children and Youth Foundation. And in this context, you're representing Read Hour. We'll soon hear more about that. And then we have Niina Vähäpassi from Finnish Commission for UNICEF. So I think I'm going to start with you, Tuuli. In what way does this kind of initiative to advance reading and writing go together with the values of the Red Cross?
Well, it goes very well, and I want to thank you for this initiative. It's a great thing, because reading and writing increases empathy and creates greater understanding. And the aim of Red Cross is to bring people together and advance humanity. That can mean so many things, campaigns in schools and lots of activities with volunteers all around the world. So Moomins and Red Cross go very well hand in hand, as we both want to create friendship and advance humanity. We are so happy of this initiative. And also because of these Red Cross images are brought alive.
Yes, Tove Jansson made images for the Red Cross.
Exactly.
Yes.
These wonderful visual elements are based on Tove Jansson's original illustrations made for the Finnish Red Cross already in 1960s.
Okay.
So we really hope that companies will make these characters alive in their products so that everyone can enjoy them and use them in their everyday life.
Okay, so what you're planning to do is together with the companies, do Red Cross products, and then the money will be donated to your...
That's the case. Yeah. So as I said, Red Cross is present all around the world. So the donations based on the sales of these Red Cross Moomin products, they can be used locally in each country to advance humanity. And I really want to thank everybody for the support. And it's wonderful to make the world a little bit better place with Moomins.
Yeah. I think so too. So I wanted to ask you, Niina, actually UNICEF has also cooperated with Tove when she was alive. Could you shortly tell us about that?
Well, yes, indeed. Tove Jansson illustrated the Peace March for UNICEF for the use of postcard, and that was in 1981. And we are really happy that this wonderful and quite strong illustration will be part of reading, writing and the Moomins, because actually reading and writing skills and education are the key to equal and peaceful societies.
And what specifically, you have one specific thing that you will do in this initiative?
Where our collaborations with Moomin licensees will roll out during the next few years, and be supporting UNICEF UNICEF work for quality education all around the world for every child.
That's really important.
This is so important right at this moment because of the pandemic, which has really disrupted education and for millions of children because of the school closures. So, for example, 1/3 of every school child does not have the opportunity to remote learning.
Yeah, I think maybe Ed also mentioned that one. That's a really huge challenge facing.
Yes. So that's why we are really glad about this collaboration from UNICEF side as well. And as an example, I can share with you that we are excited that we will, together with the publishing company Ottawa, roll out the initiative in UNICEF Walk in Finnish schools, and also we will be campaigning in the Suomalainen kirjakauppa bookstores in Finland. And
okay, so everything is being tied together.
Yes, it is, absolutely.
Wow. And what about you? What is Read Hour and how is it linked to this initiative?
To keep it short, Read Hour is a campaign that celebrates reading. And the basic idea is very simple, to stop as many people as possible to read for an hour on International Literacy Day, 8th of September.
So stop everything they're doing and just read.
Yes, that's what we hope for. The campaign has been a success here in Finland now for 2 years. We've had tens of partners and a huge amount of participants. And this year, together with Moomin Characters and their new initiative, we will go international. So there will be things happening at least in the UK, Sweden and Estonia. So we are also very happy to be a part of this initiative.
And if there's another country that wants to jump on the bandwagon, maybe they still have time?
We welcome everyone. There is still 6 months time to plan, so feel free to join.
Okay, sweet. So I wanted at the end ask you, everyone, if you have a favorite Moomin book or a Moomin-related memory with reading. Maybe you want to start, Nina?
Well, of course, the book about Moomin, Mimble and Little Mai is a real classic with its holes in the pages where you can have a sneak view into the next page. And that's one of the books that I've been reading to my children when they were small. And I just must say that I really cherish those moments that we had together reading when they were young.
That's one of my biggest Moomin memories, my mother reading that to me as well. It's
wonderful.
Passed over the generations. What about you, Olin?
Very hard to choose. Maybe my personal favorite would be Moomin Pappa at the Sea, but the best memories are linked to The Comet in Moominland, because that's also the book that I've read most to our children.
And Tuuli?
Well, I have also grown up with Moomins, but at the moment I'm very lucky because I'm creating new memories with my 4-year-old son. And one of the favorites is about Moomin's birthday. And there is a little bit mixture of friendship, excitement, and so on. And in the end, there is a great party. And the story makes us always very happy.
That's lovely to hear this passing down from generations. Thank you so much for coming. I want to here also talk about another initiative in Finland. It's the cooperation with Svenska Folkskolans Vänner. They arrange a yearly drawing and writing competition for pupils in comprehensive schools, and it's in collaboration with Moomin Characters, Förlaget M and Read Hour. The title of the competition, Snälla hjältar, which translates into kind heroes, refers to the message of the event. Every one of us can be a hero by being kind and helpful. The aim is to strengthen empathy among children and youngsters by the help of texts and tasks involved in the arrangement of the competition. And later this year, Svenska Folkskolans Vänner will launch a new school network in collaboration with Moomin Characters. Schools that join the network emphasize the humanistic values found in the literature of Tove Jansson, with a goal to support the growth of young citizens willing to work for a sustainable future for mankind. So that's a huge and important goal. Let's take a look at what some of these young citizens have to say about reading.
I just like the letter A. It's the first letter of my name, and I think it's just a good letter. Reading is fun. It's hard, and it's one of the things you need to practice most in school. So I like reading.
When I was little, I hated reading for thought it was not good for us, or it was just boring and wasted our time. But now we are in the third grade, and I like more books and reading and stuff. Yes.
I like reading, but sometimes it gets a little hard because I mostly only like reading in English or in like Russian or Dutch, because that's what I do at home. So this is probably my favorite one because it gives me pretty good vibes. I don't know, because it gives me like memories of my grandma a bit and stuff, so I like this one.
Well, yeah, it's not always easy to read, especially if the text is not in one of the apparently multiple languages that you master. So now I'm joined here by Kaisa-Maria Toiskalio from Ottawa, and we will very soon talk about Ottawa's amazing range of ABC-related products. But first, I'm going to talk about the ABC exhibitions, because there are many ways to fuel the interest in language in children and young people. And we've created these exhibitions. It's actually two different, it's the same content, but they're a little bit different visually. So there's one consisting of modules, a little bit bigger, and then another one consisting of posters, but they both have pedagogical material included. And these exhibitions are meant for schools, libraries, city halls, and other places like that. The exhibition is based on Tove Jansson's fantastic illustrations and texts, and also included are the texts by Annika Sandelin and Paula Nivukoski that we just met for the Finnish and Swedish ABC books. And through the pictures and texts, we want to invite the participants into the world of words, emotions, and letters. The pedagogical material offers a way to talk about and explore feelings, be they beautiful or difficult, in the unrestrained way that the characters in Moomin Valley do. You know, they are pretty blunt sometimes, but that's okay. So what you've seen now in the stream are kind of sketches, but you do get a picture of what the exhibitions will look like. Pretty beautiful, right? And the exhibition will start touring in Finland this spring, and we're hoping to distribute it in other countries as well during the coming years. And of course, it's available in several languages, including English and Swedish and Finnish, of course. And while we're on the subject of exhibitions, I want to add that the amazing Moomin Museum in Tampere here in Finland are working on an exhibition based on Tove Jansson's partner Tuulikki Pietilä's collection of first editions of different language Moomin books that were given to her by Tove Jansson's with her original dedications in them. So that's an exhibition I'm looking forward to a lot. So now, Kaisa-Maria, your time has finally come. So welcome here to the studio.
Thank you
You're
so much.
Publishing Director for Children and Young Readers at the publishing company Ottawa. And we've talked a lot about Onnelliset Aakkoset. We met Paula Nivukoski, the author, and of course it's also one of the prizes in our competition, together with some other products, and that's what we're going to talk about now.
Yes.
Ottawa has a big range of ABC, Moomin ABC related products coming out. Can you tell us more about them?
Yes, well, to start with, we'll give out like 81 titles this year. We're publishing 81 titles. Of course, there's a lot of notebooks that are single titles.
Yeah, I
as the
picked
one
up
you've
this
had.
one with an A for Andrea.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go back with me home.
But then we have activity books, and then we have notebooks, we have diaries, we have happiness diary, we have
And this
journal.
is also like in the ABC book with original illustrations by
Yes,
Tove Jansson.
everything,
Yeah.
and that's what makes this dream come true for
Yeah.
us. And we have reading journal and you name it, we'll probably planned it.
Wow. So you really are in this initiative. So
Yes.
why was it so important for Ottawa to be part of this reading, writing and the Moomins?
Well, of course, our whole world depends on reading and books and writing, but especially for me as a director of the publishing for children and young readers, we really, our mission is to get the children and young readers to read and to get excited about books and to find the right book to get the non-reader to get excited about reading. And if we get the children and young readers to get excited about the alphabet and playing with words, what better way to do that with the Moomins, because it's all the values and all the world that they come into with this is wonderful.
So do you have a Moomin book related memory?
Yeah, well, when we were talking earlier, I remember that when I got my first library card, when I was a child, the first book I actually borrowed from the library was Kuinka sitten kävikään. So that's
the
a
book
very...
about the... Oh God, it always takes me this English
about
title.
Moomin,
the book about Moomin, Mimble and Little Mai.
Yeah, so that's my very fondest memory. But of course, I'm also reading to my 5-year-old now all these books, and she was really happy to read the Onnelliset aakkoset because there's a lot to look at and there's a lot to listen to.
That's lovely to hear. So thank you, Kaisa-Maria.
Thank you.
And thank you for the prizes donated by Ottawa. So now we are approaching the end of this live stream and we have one more thing to do. You guessed it, we're announcing the winners of the fabulous prizes. And I think my colleague Heidi, fashion model actually, is coming into the studio with the golden envelope. Yes, we will have the winners here. So let me just say once again what the prizes are. So we have these amazing Tove Jansson books in English, the Moomin books, the adult fiction, the letter book, and the biography donated by Sort of Books. And then we have the Finnish and the Swedish ABC books. So exciting! The winner of the prize from Sort of Books is Melissa. The winners of the ABC book in Swedish are Anton, Linnea, and Madeleine. And the winner of the Finnish Onnelliset aakkoset is Tiina. And it might be that all the winners are not in this note because the launch is still going on, but everyone will be contacted through email right after the launch, so you'll get your prizes for sure. So don't forget to follow the hashtag Moomin ABC and keep your eyes open at the Moomin shop to see what kind of products are coming out. And of course, just check moomin.com. We will publish stories and articles about this initiative for many years to come. So I want to leave you by quoting a part from the thank you speech held by Tove Jansson when she won the Hans Christian Andersen Award in 1966. So now these are Tove Jansson's words. There should always be something in a children's book that is neither explained nor described. A child must be allowed to think or feel for themselves what is to follow, whether possible or impossible. So have a moominous rest of the day, everyone. Bye-bye.